Everyone. Good morning. Nice to see all of you this morning. I'm Reverend Loretta Brooks, and this is the New York Community Center for Spiritual Living. And we warmly welcome each and every one of you here this morning. And it's not that cold out, right? We're getting used to it now, aren't we? We are getting so used to it. We really are. So we have a wonderful program for you, and to those of you that I have not wished a happy, prosperous, incredible New Year, I am wishing you now and knowing that for each and every one of us. We are continuing with our monthly series called Creation. We have a wonderful talk for you this morning. We have incredible music, our reading, and our treatment. We also have treatment services after the service if you are looking for that, and I will tell you more about that during our announcements. So each and every Sunday we have what we call a spiritual mind treatment, which is a prayer that is done for everyone. And this morning, our licensed practitioner, Gary McMillan, is doing our prayer treatment. So let's warmly welcome Gary.
Thank you, Reverend Loretta. And welcome to the New York Community Center for Spiritual Living. And today's word is creation. And so I go into my acknowledgement that there is one life. And that is all the life there is, and that is my life now. And this is the day that that life has created. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. And I speak to this day all the wonderful hope that I have in this moment, right here, right now, to be still, to know the creation, to know that I am the creator of my life, and to be happy about that. And to sing a new song, and to live a new life, and to boldly go where no one has ever gone before, and that the enterprise of my starship is to know love, show love, to make love, to grow love, to speak love, and to speak the truth that I love life. Life loves me. Thank you for this creation and this moment to acknowledge that it is so for me and also for you. I gratefully say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Gary. Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you. Wonderful treatment, which sets the tone for our lesson this morning. And now we're going to have our reading, and Emily Howard is going to do that. She's our licensed practitioner as well. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm going to do a reading from 365 Days of Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. This selection is called, I Am God's Unlimited Creation. God is never limited by his creation. Omnipresent, omnipotence, and omniaction are the eternal processes of spirit. An unlimited God could only create an unlimited person, and I am that unlimited person now. My only foes are those of my own mentality. The universe is for me, and it wants me to succeed. I now assume my rightful place in God's universe and move forward to my own success in life. There are no limitations placed upon me by the divine mind, and I now free myself of my own limited thinking. I refuse to accept boundaries of success, for all of God is before me, and all his intelligence acts through me. I am never the victim of circumstances. I create circumstances and adjust them as I please. God's creative power is my creative power. God's action in the acorn is not limited by the shell. God's action in me is not hampered by body, affairs, or situations. Out from the center of my being comes the full action of life itself. Under the direction of my thought, it produces for me my decisions. I select that which is progressive, creative, and loving. The new creations in my world are flexible and bless me. As there are no fixed ideas in my mind, so there are no fixed situations in my experience. Today, unlimited good is my experience because the unlimited ideas of infinite mind fill my consciousness. Every barrier is destroyed and every door opens. The divine plan of my life unfolds with ease, for there is nothing to prevent it. Increased good appears on every hand, and I use it with wisdom. I am the free expression of an unlimited creator. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. That was a wonderful, wonderful reading. I really love that about creation. And it really speaks to what I'm going to be speaking to you about this morning. So there's only one mind, and we know that. Thank you, Emily. And thank you, Gary, for that marvelous treatment that you did for us this morning. So now we have our announcements. Today we are starting a class at about 12:30 this afternoon. And that class is called The Power of Decision. And the book was written by Raymond Charles Barker, and it will be taught by Gary McMillan and also by, where is Barbara? There she is, Barbara Blake. Both of them are licensed practitioners. I urge you to take this class if you are looking for a new way, a new beginning, something good to do with the new year. Power of Decision is extremely powerful. It really is. And I know that it will be a wonderful class for each and every one who attends. Also, we have our Wednesday night, our Wednesday evening classes with Barbara Munlin, our licensed practitioner. She is teaching how to use the science of mind over at the Unitarian Center on West 76th and Central Park West, and it begins from 6:30 until 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night. So this Wednesday, she'll be teaching you how to use the science of mind. One of the things that I've said about this year that's going to be different is that we are going to be practicing more, so that you're not just an information collector, but you go home and you practice this. You work with it. You work with the ideas. You do things. So what a wonderful way to have a midweek break where you learn how to use the science of mind and demonstrate. So Barbara will be there for you throughout the rest of this month in January. So we have that going on, we have the class going on, and all kinds of wonderful things. And of course, we're going to have a great lesson this morning. We have our wonderful guest artists here this morning, James and Julie. And I always say to you that when you leave here, you will feel better than when you came in, and that's really a guarantee, absolutely. I say that unequivocally, and I really mean it, because Spirit is working through each and every one of us all the time. And once we recognize it and accept it, it's always improving our lives. So now it's time for each and every one of us to wish each other not only a happy Sunday, but a happy New Year as well. So Happy New Year, Happy Sunday. 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 Happy Sunday, Happy New Year. And now it's time to welcome our wonderful musical artists, James and Julie. So please help me welcome them now. Yes.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feel like I'm walking on marbles. Can't still the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling? I can feel my heart begin to pound. Everybody say something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. A long dark night, my soul is wonders. Can't see the light that moves me. God is everything and everywhere that I belong. Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, pull me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, I know I'm not the only one to live inside these blues. Oh Lord, I surrender my life to you. Oh Lord, I give myself, give my love to you. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. My faith keeps calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
That was magical, wonderful. Thank you, James and Julie. Wonderful way to start our morning, to start our lesson. Beautiful, beautiful song, really beautiful, very loving. Something is calling each and every one of us. And this morning, we continue our series with creation, and I am speaking to you about becoming your own champion. I love that as an idea, because when you are your own champion, you are able to bless yourself, to accept yourself, and to love yourself. And a couple of weeks ago, I shared something, and I want to share it again because some of you didn't hear it. Each day, I say something every morning. I ask for and receive divine guidance. And I also say, thank you, God, for believing in me. And I love that also, and I want to share it with you. Whenever I learn something new, I always feel like I want to share it. So this week when I was preparing the lesson, I said, Spirit, I really need some good information so that I can share it with my community. And I was guided to this amazing, amazing story, which I will get to. But it really proves my point about becoming your own hero. Because this person that I was guided to his story through a TED Talk, and it's really very, very amazing. And I'm going to share a lot of that with you this morning. But first I want to kind of go through some of the ideas that are part of our teaching, Science of Mind principles. So I want to talk to you about the word champion. So champion is a person who surpasses all of his or her rivals. So I read a lot about champions, and I saw all of these sports figures and different kinds of people, and there were a lot of talks about destroy the enemy, do this, do that, all this kind of negativity that we do not believe in. When you are a champion of yourself, you see, you are letting go of the rivals that you may have within yourself. In other words, your limiting beliefs, whatever they may be for you. Whatever they are for you, you are willing to let them go. You may not know what they are, but you may begin to ask yourself this question: what are some of the rivals that I have in my own life, and how can I defeat them? For some of you, it may be some limiting beliefs that you may have, that you're not able to believe. I talked about that last week. Healing your unbelief, letting go of these limiting ideas, and allowing yourself to become your own champion so that you can champion yourself to become a better person. So you have this inner champion, and it is your spirit, and it is always for you. It is always creating for you through different ideas, through different formulas. This is something that is happening. But I wrote this down, and I have to be sure and give it to you the way that I wrote it because it's very important. Your spirituality is informed by what you are doing, and the most important part is what you are giving to it. I'll say it again. Your spirituality is informed by what you are doing, and the most important part is what are you giving to it, and what are you doing with it. So there are two elements, two components to this teaching: contribution and creation. What are you creating? I love the reading this morning because the reading was saying that if you have a shell, like an acorn, you don't look at that acorn, you look at the growth that is coming through you each and every day. You are growing something that is within you, whatever it is for you. So really, your inner champion is your spirit, and it is how you feed it, what you give to it, what kind of ideas are you giving to it, and how are you creating and how are you contributing. Contribution is very, very important, as is creation. So how do we inform this inner champion? What should we give to it each and every day? How are we informing it? You have an inner champion. There are no rivals in the spiritual world. There are no rivals. We create rivals. In sporting games, they're necessary. I grant you that, yes. The Olympics, all of those kinds of things, they have rivals. But the rivals that we invent within our own minds are our limiting beliefs. They are the things that we tell ourselves over and over again. I am learning so much about language and about speaking, changing your language, changing your thinking, and then coming back to the spirit within you and knowing that you are blessed each and every day, that you are creating something good for yourself, focusing on what would I like to have today. You see? You are really the creator of each and every day. It is what you are telling yourself about that day that becomes your reality, that becomes your vision. If you're planning on having a good day and something goes wrong, then you just pick yourself up and you start all over again. That's the way we work in this teaching. There are challenges, there's no question, but we have the teaching to come back to. We have the teaching that will create through us new ideas, new blessings, and we let go of the old ideas, the old thought patterns that block us. You see, blockage is nothing more than what we perceive as a rival. If you have a rival in business, anyone in business, and you think about rivalry or people that, if you're always competing with someone, your energy is being drained. You have to let go of competition and allow your inner champion to work for you. I listened to several talks yesterday, which I do, and I read and I read as I prepare the talk. And I was on YouTube, and I was listening to this amazing man. He was spiritual. I can't say his names, and I'm not going to try. So he was this beautifully gifted human being, and he was talking about the silence. And he was saying most people are afraid of silence. Think about that. We want to keep busy. We want to be on our phones. I was in a restaurant yesterday, and everybody, honestly, I was just kind of observing, very nice restaurant. There was not a person in there except for me and the person I was with who were not on cell phones. They were all sitting there, and they all had their cell phones on, and they weren't talking to each other. They didn't, we have to go into the silence and begin to communicate with each other as humans again, and begin to know that we have this champion that is within us that wants us to succeed. You see, Spirit does not know anything about winning or losing. This is what came through me as I was preparing this talk. Dr. Grayson used to say to us, Spirit doesn't know the difference between 10 cents and $1 million, right? But we know the difference. Oh, yes, we do. And we also know the difference between winning and losing. But you see, it's up to you to create your winning moments. It's up to you to tell Spirit what it is that you'd like to win at. But you have to know what it is before you can have it. What does winning mean to you? Because it means something different to each and every person in this room. Some of you are in theater. Some of you are in the media. Some of you are in the stock market. Some of you are all over. Maybe attorneys, different things like that, CPAs. Whatever it is you're doing, music, what do you want to win at? You begin to tell Spirit. You don't want to lose the game. You want to win the game. Spirit doesn't know the difference. Do you see that? That's what I got from doing this lesson. Spirit does what you say, what you tell it to do. You inform Spirit. You give it that information every day. Get clarity about that. If you're having a health issue, you have to work on that consciousness of knowing, that consciousness of being blessed each and every day. Blessed. Know there's a gift in that. You may say, what is she talking about, a gift? There's a gift. There's something that will bless you if you will accept it, if you will get out of the way and allow Spirit to come through you, full blast. You do not need to protect yourself. That sounds funny. But with Spirit, you do not need to protect yourself. On the spiritual level, there's nothing to protect yourself from. You can get up and give your all each and every day without thinking about the outcome. That's the blessing that you get from your inner champion, and that is truly winning. That is when you begin to say that I accept my healing. My healing is revealed through me. I accept it. I accept this idea that I can give fully to life. I can participate and contribute in life. That is really your own self-acceptance. I want to share this story with you, though, because it's so beautiful. And also, your inner champion already is. It has everything that you need. And you become more of it by becoming one with it. But I want to get to this wonderful story because it's truly incredible. I was listening to these talks, and I was treating that I would be guided to the right information for today. So after the service, if I've said something that touches you, please let me know. I would really appreciate that. I want to share with you the story. And the name of this story is, the man's name is Russell Redenbaugh. I think that's how you say it. But his story is called, this is what he called his story, Post-Traumatic Gifted. Interesting. Everybody says post-traumatic stress. That's the buzzword of the 2000s, right? I always mix this up. Somebody corrected me. PSTD, is that right? Post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD, I told you I'd do that. Thank you, Julie. PTSD. Okay, everyone talks about that, but he talks about post-traumatic gifted. And I'm thinking to myself, when I saw this, I said, what is this guy talking about? Let me share his story with you because it's an amazing, amazing story. And if you want to go online, it's on one of the TED Talks. Amazing story. So he's 16 years old, and he wants to be an astronaut. And he decides, he's going to be an astronaut. He wants to go to the moon and all of this. He's got all of these wonderful ambitions. So he sets up a science experiment in his house. He's going to set a rocket off or something, I don't know. And he decides that he's going to send this rocket out and he's going to learn all these things. And what happens is something explodes. It hits his face It hits his eyes, and it hits his hand. And the person next door to him, his neighbor, happens to be a nurse. And for some reason, she's outside hanging up her laundry, back in the old-fashioned days when they hung their laundry out. And she hears him screaming, and she hears the explosion, and she rushes over to the house, and she saves his life. She puts tourniquets all over him and saves him from bleeding to death. And he has a blindness now, but his left eye he can see a little bit, but he's lost 3 of his fingers. He's lost vision in his right eye, and his left eye is kind of blurry. He goes back to school after several operations. He's a senior now in high school, and they tell him that his left eye is completely going to lose the vision. And he begins, this is the science of mind part of him. He doesn't know he's in our teaching, but there's so many people out there in our teaching, and they don't even know it. Because he makes this declaration. He says, I declare right now, in this moment, that I will never be dependent upon anyone for financing, for anything, that I will make my own way in the world, that I will live in the real world as a real functioning human being, that I will become educated, and that I will do something wonderful for the world. He's 16 when he says this. So he makes this declaration, and this is the power of our teaching, because that is the 3rd step in our teaching, declaration. What you declare for yourself becomes your reality. So he's sharing this story, he declares this, he says this, and this is what happens. So at the end of his career in high school, he graduates, and he goes on to the University of Utah. That's where he lives. He graduates from the University of Utah first in his class. He has 7 different dogs that guide him through his life, the dogs that are for the seeing eye dogs, for the people. And he goes through this whole thing, and he graduates first from the University of Utah. And then he applies. He wants to go later on to get an MBA. So he applies to Harvard, and he applies to MIT, and he applies to a lot of the Ivies. Harvard turns him down. They said, no, you can't do the work. It's too hard. You're blind. You'll never be able to do it. Remember, this is a while ago. They couldn't do that today. And MIT says the same thing. And then he goes to the Wharton School of Business, and the Wharton School says to him, well, you've done very well in college, so we're going to accept you. We'll see what you can do. And if you can't do it, we'll ask you to leave. That's all. And the man said, I can't understand why Harvard or MIT would not accept you, because they don't know whether you can do it or not. So he goes there, and he ends up graduating 5th in his class with an MBA. And then he goes on to work with number theories and different things like that, and he becomes a legislator for the handicapped. He's appointed back then by Bob Dole, I think it was, so this is a while ago. And he decides there's too many policies, there's too much bureaucracy, he doesn't want to do that, so he leaves, and he begins to work out in life with numbers and different systems. And he says many, many things, but I want to share something with you. I want to share with you what he says. People say to him, how at 16 years of age did you decide to make that declaration? What drove you to do that? Who does that at the age of 16 with all of these things happening in their lives? And this is what he said, and I wrote it down. He said, when he was young, his father used to read to him all of the time. He would read all of the time. He would read him stories when he had this accident. That's how he was showing his love and support for his son. And his father read to him a story by Nelson Mandela. And the words that came from Nelson Mandela were these: I am the master of my fate, and I am the captain of my soul. And it was those words that resonated with him that made him the person that he became, because he recognized that he was the master of his own fate and the captain of his own soul. No one else but him. And that is how he made that declaration and made it become a reality. That is how, when we declare our good in form, we become better and better each and every day. 3rd step in treatment. If you would declare every day what you would like to have for yourself, you are championing, I'm not saying that right. Thank you. Championing yourself. You are doing what is right for you. You are becoming your own champion. And that's okay. That's a good thing. Every day you declare what it is that you would like to have. We all have challenges. All of us. We all have them. There's no question. It's what we do with them, and it's how we live. And it's what we declare for ourselves each and every day. What do you want your day to look like? You create it. Sure, there's things that happen during the day, but if you are having a health challenge or anything else, declare every day that you're getting better. Don't get hooked into race consciousness. Know the wholeness, the harmony, the peace of mind, all of those good things. Then you are becoming your inner champion. He says the best thing to do is to prepare and have the courage to act. Prepare and have the courage to act. And then he says something very interesting. If you can't measure something, you can't manage it. Very, very interesting. Prepare and practice and have the courage to act. This is a man who was blind, who lost some of his fingers. He is now married. He is now part of a great company, very successful. He has his seeing eye dog. And he goes on in life, in his life, with the courage to act. He prepares himself every day. But he declared his good when he was 16 years of age. So I am saying to you this morning, what is it that you would like to declare for your life, for this year? What would you like to have? Are you doubting that you can have it? Or are you looking at other people and seeing how they are playing a role in this? We all do this. It's their fault, you see? He could have said that at 16. He could have said, I'm not going to go on. I'm going to, cause everybody problems in my family. But he chose not to. And by being so powerful and declaring his good, he became more of who he is, not less. That is the choice that we can make each and every day for ourselves, becoming more of who we are, more creative, more blessed, more uplifted and inspired, more transformed by the renewing of our mind. That is truly transformation. You have to begin to believe in yourself. And if you can't believe in yourself, believe in that which is within you, which is spirit. And know that spirit is always doing for you what you say it will do for you. You see? Letting go of blame. Letting go of all of those things. I love post-traumatic gifted. I think that is such a wonderful lesson. He didn't see himself as having post-traumatic stress. He saw himself as receiving a gift and becoming gifted. And each and every person in this room is gifted in some way or another. You must begin to accept that gift and to know that you are blessed each and every day, declaring it, knowing it. Even sometimes when you say to yourself, I don't know if this is working, you have to let go of that as an idea and say, yes, it is working. It's creating good through me each and every day, more and more good. I am richly blessed, uplifted, and inspired. I love to say to myself every day, thank you, God, for believing in me. Let's say that together. Thank you, God, for believing in me. And what does that mean? That means that the spirit within you believes in you, accepts you, and wants the best for you. How are you informing your spirit? How are you becoming your own champion? Each and every day, I have a spiritual practice. Just by a show of hands, how many people in here have a spiritual practice? Good, okay. Most of you do. That's wonderful. If you don't, that's okay too. You're doing what you're doing. That's what I always say. I always remember, and I shared this story with you before, they once said to a yogi, where will all the money come from? And he said, it will come from wherever it is. I love that. That's very true. It will come from wherever it is. So all of our worries and all of our fears and all of our so-called rivals, they're really something that we need to work with. We really need to let them go. The more that you can let go of these appearances that we put together, we put them together. And yes, we do have challenges. I'm not saying that we don't. Please don't think that I'm, because we all have challenges. It's how we walk through them, and it's what we do with spirit that creates the blessing, the inspiration, the will to keep on living a good life, you see. We go through spurts in life. There are things in life that happen to us that challenge us each and every day. We all get challenges. And it's how we work with ourselves and with spirit. How do you inform the spirit within you? Does the spirit become for you a champion? You see? You can make it your champion by deciding that you're going to win in life, by deciding that you're going to do as this man did. We may not be as challenged as he is, but we can declare each and every day a good day. We don't have to fall into the same old patterns. You see? If you're falling into the same old pattern, you're telling yourself the same old story over and over again. I would like you to think about this when you go home today. Maybe write down that old story that you've been telling yourself and put in its place a new story. That each and every day that I am going to invest in myself. People talk about investments, and they're investing in the stock market, and it's doing very well these days, yes. But the thing is, you also have to invest in yourself. The investment that you make in yourself will be with you each and every day. Who else is with you? Only you. Invest in yourself. Become the best trader for yourself. Become your own best friend. Become your own champion. Know that you are worthy of the best. Whatever it is that you are seeking is seeking you, you see. You start out with something like, let's take the idea of money. Money is something that you may want to create more of. How many people would like to have some more money this year? It's unanimous. If you want to have more money, you are creating it each and every day with your thinking and your believing, and you're letting go of those rival thoughts that say that you can't have it. You see, if you get a certain income in mind, you must begin to play the game to win. Know that you can have it. Carol Look, who is a wonderful EFT practitioner, talks about that. I was online with her this week, and she was saying that whatever income that you'd like to have, this is very interesting. This is becoming your own champion. You write it down, and if it makes you feel uncomfortable, you begin then to do the tapping to release, let go, or to do the treatment work to let go of any false ideas that you have around money. Fear, anger, whatever it is. A lot of people in this room are very, very successful, doing very, very well. Some of you may just want to go up a little bit, some of you some more. Whatever it is for you, begin to play the game of life. Florence Scovel Shinn talks about that. She wrote a book called The Game of Life, and how you play it, you see. How are you playing your own game of life? As I said before, Spirit doesn't know about winning or losing. Spirit only knows what you inform it about. So if you want to play to win, get on your own team, get on your own side, you see? If you're not on your side, how can you expect yourself to win in any area of your life? If you are the one that is constantly telling yourself, I'm never going to get better, then that's not a good story. You have to begin to change the thinking, change the thought, change the language. Begin to say, I am healthy, I am well, all is well in my world. You see? I am getting along better with these people, whoever they may be. I am getting along better with these people. My news is good news. As for the media, I'll leave them alone. You know? My news is good news. The rivals that you have are the rivals that you make up in your own mind. You can release them, neutralize them, and dissolve them. I love what he says about measuring something. He says what you don't measure, you can't manage. Measure whatever it is that you are saying to yourself. You see? Begin to measure it. Begin to know what it is you're telling yourself. If you don't know what it is, you can't get on your own side. If you have your own team, and that team is the spirituality, the champion that is within you, that blesses you, the one mind, the powerful mind that is always giving to you, always creating for you, through you, and as you. So have a team that plays well with you, a team that supports, loves, and blesses you. This is your game of life. Learn to play it well. And above all else, play it for you, not against you. Do you see where I'm going with this lesson? You want to play for yourself. You want to be on the team that supports, blesses, loves, and accepts you. A lot of people really, really want to have something better in their lives, but they keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. You see? It's what you're agreeing with yourself about. There's something that came through me, and I'll share it with you. It's very interesting. I'm working with a client who has sleep problems. And I said to her, you're fighting sleep every night. You're fighting it. You have to make peace with sleep. Part of that is the agreement that we make with ourselves. We make agreements with ourselves, and our agreements should be good for us. We need to agree with ourselves about what it is we would like to demonstrate. We'd like to demonstrate good health, wealth, creative self-expression, and good relationships. So if you're always talking about the bad relationship that you're in, guess what? The story continues. But if you begin to change the story, or maybe you're stuck with that story and you need a practitioner, go to a practitioner. We have services after the service today. You can get a practitioner to treat for you. If you are stuck in something, you don't need to beat yourself up about it. Just let it go. Be willing to let it go. Be willing to declare your good by saying, I'm going to a practitioner, and I know that this practitioner is going to bless me, uplift me, inspire me. I am willing to let go of this old idea. Willingness is very, very powerful. Playing the game of life, playing it to win. Prepare, practice, and have the courage to act. Let go of the rivals. The rivals are your limiting beliefs. At the end of this lesson, I am going to do a treatment for each and every one of us to become our own champions. Your inner champion, remember, doesn't know the difference, for it is informed by what you give to it. It is informed by what you give to it and what you tell it. You know? It's like they did this experiment. I know they've done it with water, but now they've done it with rice. Very interesting. They take rice, maybe some of you have seen this, some cooked rice, and they put it in a jar, and some other cooked rice, and they put it in another jar. And on top of the jar, they put, I hate you, and on the other jar, they put, I love you. And the rice that has the words love is okay, but the rice that has the words hate is turning all different colors. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. What you tell yourself is so important. Bless yourself. Inspire yourself. Bless your body. I tell people this all the time. Bless your body. Bless the parts of your body, the organs of your body. Bless your voice. Bless everything about you. You are worth blessing. You are worthy. Terry Cole Whitaker used to say this all the time. You are worthy of your own love. I say you are worthy of your own blessing. Blessings aren't for someone else. They're for you. We can bless people, but bless yourself also. Give yourself a blessing. Lift yourself up. Don't knock yourself down. And if people knock you down, you don't need to allow that. You can know that you are always there for yourself. You are always blessing and comforting yourself, inspiring yourself to do more and to be more and to have more as well. So how will you play this game of life? That is really the question today. Becoming your inner champion. What will you give to this inner champion each and every day? How will you inform it? In the game of life, what will you do with it? Will you allow it to give you more? Will you say, yes, Spirit, I can accept this? This is going to be a great day. Remember this man. Remember this story this morning. It's a very powerful one. He has post-traumatic gifted instead of stress disorder. He chose to be gifted. Was he gifted? Absolutely. Are you gifted? Absolutely. Do you believe it? That's the question. That's the measuring stick, isn't it? We need to measure our believing. And if it's not the way we want it to be, we need to be honest with ourselves and treat that we move it up. I talked about that last week. We need to thank God every day for believing in us. God believes in us. Spirit believes in us and wants the best for us. So I'm going to do a treatment, and I'm going to say to you, what matters is what winning means to you. But win or lose, you are the one at choice. Do you want to have a winning every day? Do you want to win at something? Do you want to be good at something? It's all according to you and what you choose. Choose your inner champion. Be blessed by it. Be uplifted and inspired by it. I'd like to close this lesson this morning with a spiritual mind treatment for each and every person. For the champion within you is always blessing you. So let's know this truth together. There is one life, one power, and one presence in the universe called God, the Divine One. That Divine One is the principle of all existence. It resides within each and every person in this room, including the speaker. Each one is at one with the presence and power for good. Each one is not only uplifted and inspired, but blessed and moved out into life in a new direction, saying yes to life every day, saying yes to good health and well-being, saying yes to creativity and joy and inspiration, saying yes to right relationships, yes to love, letting go of all appearances of fear, anger, resentment, rebellion, any thought patterns of negation are hereby uprooted, neutralized, and dissolved. Each and every one is filled with love, filled with peace of mind, and moves out into life, contributing to life, creating a better life for himself or herself. Knowing that this word is the truth, there is nothing that can stop or block it, I say, thank you, God. So be it. I release it into law. It is done. And together we say, and so it is. And that is the way it is. Thank you. Okay, and music.
Yeah, so if you want to shake a banana this morning, or an orange or a plum, help yourself.
So we're gonna sing this song over and over again. We might sing it a cappella, we might speed it up, we might slow it down. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter how you sing it, as long as you think about what it is that you believe, and what you believe you will receive.
Go ahead and get us started here. Oop. I have no volume. There we go.
I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. So is everybody thinking about what you believe? I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. Acapella. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. Thank you, Gary, for that percussion. That was lovely.
Nice.
I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. Great job.
Nice job, you guys. You sound good out there. You always sound good out there playing and singing.
Good stuff. That was great. Thank you.